Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing the roof, starting with the headers. Do you notice anything different? Yes? No? Unsure? If you have, leave a comment in the comment section. I want to see who gets this. What is different about the build project? Okay, you've had time to look. You've had time to figure it out. Let me know in the comment section below. Let's get on with putting up this header, doing the rest of the roof. For the post going down, 2 inches, making my mark. Make my mark at 2 inches. The back header be 2 inches down. I did the same thing with the front header, 2 inches down. Down at the board, I've got a little bit more than a foot on each side of the front header. I should have a little more than a foot on the back side header here. So 2 down, we'll place the board in. We're going to make sure that we have just a little bit over a foot going off to the side. All right, from our mark, okay, we are at 2 inches to the top. It's about 2 whiskers. Okay, 2 little marks. From this one right here, 2 and 2. So we are good to go ahead and secure it. And that's the back beam here, level. So we are good to go. Probably asking yourself, why all this blocking? What is with all that? Well, tools I have to hold those beams up, they will not support it. The beams are too heavy. So I had to come up with an alternative way. I had some of these foam blocks from Roll King. Then I used a little bit of scrap wood, cribbing. Do that underneath. Got to my height. Height, length worked. We're level. You can see we're good to go. Now we're going to go ahead. We're going to make the rafters. And then we got the purlins. Then we can put it on the roof. All right, so I went ahead, made my first rafter, cut it at 6'5", and as you can see, the end here, it's got that cut to it. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to cut 3 more at 6'5", same way, I'm going to use this one as the template. Then we're going to go ahead and put the rafters on. All right, gone ahead and I've made my marks as to how far I'm going to bring the board down. I'm going to have about a foot off the back here, right here. Probably saying, how come he's not using the nail gun? Well, if I make a mistake, I can take these screws out. Whereas if I do the nail gun, I cannot. So let's go ahead. I'm going to measure this up, make sure I hit my mark. Now remember, I cut it to 6'5". It's on that angle up there. Yup, that's on my mark there for what I want. And that's where I want to be too. Now also, you're going to notice I have the other rafters clipped on here, this end and that end. That's because I want to make sure that I have the same amount of distance between the posts. Right now they're at 45 inches. 45. By crimping these other ones on there, it ensures that that's going to remain. Give you a better camera angle here. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's why those boards are crimped on there. Those are the other rafters on this side and on the other side. We'll go over there. And that's why they're crimped on like they are, to keep the spacing the same. All right. Bring in a little bit better here. $45. Right back here, $45. Because if I do it upside down, anybody can read upside down, $45. Okay, so this is a 10-foot board. I've marked it at 44 and 76 inches. So that's where my next two rafters are going to be. $44 and $76. So now if you can't see your little hash marks, another way to do it, just draw the line right off of here. There you go. Come down here, same thing. Draw the line right off of there. Doesn't have to be big. Doesn't have to be perfect. Well, it needs to be perfect. It doesn't have to be big. You can see it. There's the line. There's the line. Now, what I'm going to do, I'd cut up some pieces for some blocking. I think this is old deck wood, maybe. All right. So from here, blocking goes straight and flip it over. All right. Now your rafter is going to go in the center of your line, and this is going to go off of your line. Okay, so if you got to move that blocking over a little bit, make sure your beam is center. That's all you're doing. You should be perfectly on. All right, there you have it. All the rafters are on. They're all on. They're exactly where they're supposed to be. They've all got 2 screws in them. I've tightened them all up. So I know there were some screws that I didn't get to right when we first were putting these in, but they are all done. Okay, all the rafters are on. They're all on. Now, I've gone through and I have measured these again before I cinched them all down, and they're all where they need to be. Okay. Now we've got the purlins to put on, then the roof itself, and that will complete the roofing project. Then we got the walls, and the whole thing is done. Purlins, that's the next step. Okay. These boards here are 10 footers. I gotta go ahead and I gotta cut them down to 8 feet, 8 inches. And that way that'll match my roofing. So 8 feet, 8 inches will be the cuts. Okay, so this one took me a minute. I had to go ahead, clamp all these right in back of the boards. This board is warped. The way I made my cuts in the front, it's not going to hold them down. You got to put the clamps behind the board here. So I'm going to go ahead, carefully hold down this board, and go ahead and screw it in. All right, now that that one's in, we can just go ahead, move along, get the rest of these done. I did go ahead and measure them before I started putting the screws in. So, should be the same. We're going to remeasure again. Looking good. Take my measurements on the end. They held, so it's all good. I know what all of you are thinking. Why is he not using a nail gun? Zip, 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 zip. Go by real quick. Mess with all these screws. Number one, nail gun is not taking. For some reason it's still not working. I go ahead, I do some practice shots in other wood, right? Put stuff together, works fine. I could do it here, it's not working. I don't know what the deal is. If I'm not pressing down hard enough, I don't know if I don't have the right nail depth or the long inch nail. I don't know. I have 3-inch nails, it's not taking. So therefore I'm going ahead, I'm using wood screws. Now, with the wood screws also, it's a twofold. I can go ahead and disassemble this at any time. This is not a permanent structure. If I go ahead and nail it, it's a permanent structure. And I might want to move this around. I might want to disassemble it, move it somewhere else on the property. Not really sure. But this is where it's staying for now. But at least with the wood screws, gives me the option of disassembly. So keep that in mind. Nails, permanent. Screws, not so much. Let's get this other purlin up. Then we're putting on the roof. All right. We've got this center purlin to go ahead and put up. So I'm going to measure from one end to the other. Yeah. if it'll grab. We'll measure from one end to the other. All right. We're at about 77 and a half. Not even, 77 and a quarter. 77 and a quarter. So I got to go ahead and mark center off of 77 and a quarter. Go ahead. We'll do that measurement one more time. Yep, about 77 and a quarter. Go ahead and mark the halfway point, and we'll put on the last purlin. Alright, so I've made my mark. I can go ahead. I'm just going to center the board. That's all I'm going to do. Just center it. Then I'm going to clamp it right outside. Okay, I can clamp it to it, but I need to go and clamp it on the outside because I got to measure it on the opposite side. Make sure we're all even here. But right there, that's looking center on the board to me. There you have it. Alright, went ahead and measured it again. I was just a little bit off. Right here, the longer mark. That's where we're going. I have clamped down the centers. Okay. And we are back at the longer mark. Now this one is a little bowed too. Unfortunately, that's crazy. They all tried out and some of them bowed up. But yeah, we're going to go ahead. Get this center one done. Move on to the roof. Be a little off. Don't like that. Don't like that. Feeling for gaps in the boards, making sure the screws are down tight. Go back to the first one. Yep. All right, let's go do that end one. All right. Let me go ahead. We're going to start installing the roof. We've got exactly a foot off the back. I'm going to do 2 screws in this back side because I want exactly to keep this foot. I don't want this whole sheet moving around. A little breezy day. Let's go ahead and start. Also, roofing screws, okay? Roofing screws. Got the gasket on the end. That's what I'm using, roofing screws. We'll go over it again. Don't have to go ahead, tighten it down tight. You don't have to jam it in there. That's not how it's supposed to be. Alright, let's take a quick measurement. I got a foot off the back end. Foot. Okay? Foot. Foot. Right off the back end. So far it's pretty easy to keep this straight. Shouldn't have too much problems. It's a small structure. Alright, if it moves a little here or there, that's okay. For the most part, you're going to find if you're doing something like this, small structure, whether it's metal or plastic, you should be good. I mean, you can always move it around. Trying to keep them all uniform, all in the center. See? And that's it. You don't want to force it down. My biggest thing is I wonder if I'm going to have enough of these screws, because I might not have enough of these screws. I only bought a box of 50, and the sheets that I have, I think I'm going to run out. So I'm going to have to go ahead and run out to my local storage unit, aka Lowe's, and go pick up some more. But yeah, just keep them all in line, going down the boards, Purlins, you'll be good to go. got not uneven ground here. So, gonna have to move the ladder. I'm not gonna probably bore you with putting all these sheets up, but I will give you a closer look at what I'm doing. All right, the first one is on. It is on. We've got the foot hanging off. All right. As you can see, where is it? Right here is the gasket. Okay, you want to make sure that that's flattened out. And you don't want to over flatten it. You don't want to over screw this screw at all. All right, real simple. First one's on. We got 3 more to do. Let's get at it. All right. So you take your second sheet, right? You got your first one, it's laid out straight. Screws are in it. You got your second sheet. Come over. See this end piece right here? Little cap piece. All right, go ahead. Slide it. Cover it. Level it out. Okay, it should already be level. Once this one is all straightened out, level to go, right? Shouldn't really say level, but once it's straight, it's perfectly straight. You're just taking this piece, flopping it over onto that other cap piece, lining it up, right? And boom, you're ready to go. Boom, 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 boom. Knock it out. Don't want to lose my mark here. that as straight as I want it to be in the line. Don't want to crack the plastic. Don't want to jinx myself. Knock on the wood. Don't get to the top. just making sure that gasket basically flattens out. It's on the screw here. I'm trying to be uniform as possible. Alright. I gotta find a really good spot to stand. Alright. So I didn't want to bore you, but I took a full sheet here. Okay. Use these Craftsman cutting shears. Right. Measured what I needed. Snipped away. Got it done. Okay. I don't want to bore you with all of that cutting. Let me tell you. It was annoying. So the roof is done. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, there it is. The roof is done. It's all done. Now all the materials, everything I've used, purchased for this build, it's going to be in the description boxes in each of the segments of the video. Okay? So if you want to know exactly what it is for the roofing, whether it be for the rafters, for the purlins, for the roof here, it's going to be right in the description of the video. But yeah, it's done. It's on there. It feels like with the humidity here in Florida, it's about 100 degrees. So yeah, that's it. We're done with the roof. We've still got the walls to go. That's going to be in the final episode. There's no way I'm getting that today. Just not going to happen. I will tell you, folks, when I was out here and I was building this thing, right, I was thinking about my father. And he passed away at a very young age of cancer. And I wish he'd be able to see this build. I wish he would be able to see some of the things that I'm doing. But especially this woodworking stuff. He was all into that. He loved that stuff. He was an engineer by trade. He built his own house. He built many different things outside of his house. So I know he would definitely appreciate this. 431 subscribers, 432 subscribers, something like that. We're pretty close. I appreciate you all. I truly do. I'm watching the analytics left and right. Just incredible, folks. Just incredible. Really, from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it. Well, that's going to wrap it up for here. Like, share, subscribe, obviously. And we'll see all of you on the next adventure. Take care, everybody.